In this video, I'm facing the nature, and behind is the human watching me. My arm is totally outstretched onto the nature. My desire is abandoned, and my will is abandoned. With that duration of performance, I experience a certain transcendence of myself, and hopefully audience does too. I was in the beginning thinking of doing kind of a walking performance, but I didn't know exactly where and how. So we just walked around the city more than an hour, just walking and walking and walking. And then I arrived to Shibuya area where so many people were passing by. And I was totally overwhelmed by the crowds around me. And my body was full of energy accumulated by this walking and thinking of people. So at that moment, I aware the distinction between my body and the crowd in the street, and I had to stop there. I just couldn't walk anymore. I had to stop there. My first video using my own body as a symbolic needle was a needle woman in Tokyo, 1999. That is like almost like inserting a needle onto the earth in a way. And that's more about my energy I had at the time. My system is very much rooted to the practice of sewing that uses the needle onto fabric. I came to a conclusion that I can be a needle woman. I'm using the pedestrians' passing moment as a slow motion, as if they are weaved through my body as a needle. It's not about showing my identity, so it should be from behind, not to show my face. The camera lens is my eyes that sees my back, that sees the other people in front of me. So there's 3 different perspectives in my needlewoman performances. My work, in a way, has never been completed as a single piece, I think. I've thought always my work is in transition, always in process. I can never really finalize, this is completed, this is finished. Whenever I have a new question, I would always like to continue and see through different perspectives. In Korea, we lived in a house with a straw roof and very cold. It was really, really cold. And even though we had a stove in the room, when I woke up in the morning, there was frost all over on the wall around the room. And I've been scratching on top of it, making like lines and drawings on it. Maybe that's my first drawing piece. I always discover artistic questions and answers from our daily life activities. Pottery was one of them. Botari in Korean means a bundle. Usually we carry it whenever we have precious things to keep. When I first discovered Botari as a three-dimensional sculpture, it was at PS1 Studio. When I look back, and there was a Botari, which I made, but didn't realize before, because I've been always having these Botaris to stack and to keep fabrics in it. And that Botari looked totally different from the ones before. When I first discovered Botari in different formalistic way of sculpture, I started those for some time, like a couple of years. Then when I returned to Korea, where the Botari is our reality, I started seeing them in different way, which is more realistic way. A Botari that is more socio-cultural related object rather than formalistic sculpture. I didn't realize until I did this Cities on the Move Botari truck performance. Oh, actually, my Botari is very much rooted to my family history. We were always on the road. My father, because of the Korean War, he had to go to military, and then he stayed in military service. We always had to move. So it's part of our family history that had a little bit of a nomadic life. Laundry woman installation with Tibetan monk chant that examine the audience's body as a needle that weaves through the laundry field. I use that covers from newly married couples that has all the symbols and embroideries of all wishes we want to carry in our lives, such as long life, love, peace, and fertility. I was invited to create a new site-specific project in Brussels. As a perfect installation for that space, I thought Lotus Zone of Zero. The sound you hear in this piece is a mixture of Tibetan monk chant, Gregorian chant, and Islamic chant. Zone of Zero is the central location where the audience perceives the three different religious chants merged together. I used Buddhist lotus-shaped lanterns in it. There is a train station connected to the space, so many people walking by, through every day in the morning and coming back in the evening. So it's like a repeated ceremonial piece for them. I saw the Crystal Palace a few years before, and I was really struck by the beauty of that structure. And I wanted to do something, and I started thinking this space should be empty and use it as space itself by not really creating something physical inside, but putting diffraction grating film that diffuses the light into rainbow spectrum, and then put a mirror all over the floor that reflects the whole structure of the crystal palace. People are invited to this space that is filled with my breathing sound in it. Breathing in and out is another way of weaving and another way of sewing. I see the Crystal Palace piece as a pottery of light and sound and reflection. I always try to find a transcendent moment and space within my work. My intention is to reach to the totality of our life and art. So that's also one reason my practice is quite broad and diverse, to reach that complexity and comprehensiveness. I don't know in the end where I could reach, but I would like to get to that comprehensive totality in my work.